Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I-Man here from the Block Runner, MetaZone, and Rovi. And today, it's been 48 hours.
Roughly.
Since the Bitmap video.
It sure has, yes.
Yeah, 48 hours.
A lot has happened in that 48-hour time span, right?
Yeah.
So that's why, we've never really like uncovered some kind of project. Because that's what we do on this channel, right? We discover things. We explore the Web3 realm.
Yeah.
We find something interesting and entertaining, most of all.
Mm-hmm.
We like to bring it to our channel and our audience so you guys can soak it all up, slurp all this alpha juice, right?
Yeah.
But it usually takes like a week or two to do like some kind of follow-up video. Usually, like some sort of like a semblance of like traction is picking up. Like we need to like,
Yeah, like we did with BRC20.
Correct.
And when we talked about it, it was like 23 million or 30 million, whatever it was.
Or like when Ordinals was first like created, we're like, once like some relevant thing happens, we'll talk about it again. Then Yuga Labs comes in, makes $15 million selling Skittles to everybody. We're like, okay, something's happening here, right?
Did you know that we're more than just a YouTube channel? We also built MetaZone, the first app store for the Metaverse. Buy, sell, and explore a new class of digital assets like our flagship game Rovi.ai. Support us by collecting your digital assets through MetaZone at metazone.io. Like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated. All right, back to the video.
So the Bitmap thing, we talked about it 2 days ago.
Yep, here it is.
Yeah.
So you're looking at just our old video. And we have 340 inscriptions when we did our old video 48 hours ago.
Okay. Yeah, and we when we actually first started looking into it, we were like sub 100, right?
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I claimed a few of those sub 100 bitmaps, dude. I'm a proud owner of number 100.
Yeah.
That's the best, I think, one I got.
Yeah.
I feel like that has some sort of value to it. I mean, 100. I'm probably just gonna like erect a bunch of those 100 emojis all over it.
Yeah.
Once I can start deploying content on it, it's just gonna be the land of hundreds, dude. Put like some Benjis out there. Whatever else I can think of that's associated to 100.
Yeah.
It's going on that land, right?
Okay.
So, but yeah, so where are we today, dude? 48 hours later.
48 hours later, we're at 12,000.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and when I woke up this morning, I think it was like it's 10K.
Yeah, I went to sleep last night. It was like 9K, over 9,000.
Yeah.
Insert Vegeta memes, stuff like that, right? And I've been blown away, dude. I've been taken aback. So much so.
Yeah.
I had to reevaluate a lot about myself at this point. It's like, dude, did we do this? I think we did, right? I think this we were the first ones. Shout out to Itoshi and Fishbrain for reaching out to us.
Yeah.
Right? And we kind of like picked up that torch.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say we did this, but we contributed.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and ultimately, like, Fishbrain and Bitoshi, they did their homework. I mean, we talk about Web3.
Yeah, they were right.
The Metaverse and Ordinals and everything. And so they were like, hey, you should look at this.
Yeah, I think that was a good call. We definitely have like one of the more unique perspectives on this particular project, specifically. I mean, we have a perspective on every single project we come across, but the reason why ours is unique in this case because we do have like a multi-year Metaverse background.
Yeah.
On Ethereum, though. Never anything on Bitcoin because there's nothing happening on Bitcoin until recently, right? So that's why once we discovered this, we were tipped by the actual founder of this protocol. Like, you guys need to look into this stuff, right? So we're like, okay. But yeah, it's stuck right away, dude. And yeah, we haven't been able to stop talking about it since.
Yeah, so here's Fishbrain. All the links will be in the description. Make sure you follow these guys. These guys are as alpha as it gets. Mm-hmm. So here's Fishbrain, and of course, the legendary Bitoshi Nakamoto.
Yeah.
So he's the one who came up with the standard, and we love it. It's great.
Yeah, so one of the more surprising things, so people have figured out through whatever means how to inscribe their bitmaps, right? Obviously, it's not that difficult because like the pace of inscriptions is going through the roof.
Yep.
It's pretty damn simple, right? I guess if you want to like maybe demonstrate it one more time, you literally at the moment go to Unisat, or I guess like any inscription service, right?
Any inscription service, yeah.
Yeah, you just enter a text file, a number, whichever block. So yeah, go to bitfeed.live if you want to like
see this
curate whichever block you think is ideal to your own, whatever your vision is for your own virtual layer.
Yeah.
just look at this block and imagine. It's like, oh man, what can I build in this like future society?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you go through all the blocks. There's about 800,000 of them almost. And pick one, right? I want block. What is this?
This is 794.501.
That's mine.
Yeah.
That one that resonates with me for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know, it's up to the individual, right? So you go to Unisat or whatever tool, you do 794.501.
Yeah.
.bitmap. That's it. You're now plugged into this whole ecosystem, right? And you've claimed ownership of this exact block. It's literally that simple. I think you just typed in something random, right?
Well, roughly random, but yeah, ultimately just 794.501, 794.
Damn, a little off, dude. A little off.
501. Yeah. .bitmap. Well, first, what you want to do is you want to make sure it doesn't exist, right? So you go to search.
Yeah.
And then you go to text, and then you do 794.501.bitmap.
That'll be interesting if somebody. Nope.
Yeah. So it's open.
Nobody owns that, right?
So a brand new district has been minted, and it's available for someone to purchase.
Correct.
So now you can go to inscribe, go to text, and then 794.501.bitmap.
That's it. And then simply go through the regular purchasing process of an ordinal inscription. That's it. Like I said, now once you take ownership of that, it's in your wallet. You're the first one, even though there's like copycats inscribing the same block. It doesn't matter. The standard will recognize you as the original owner of this block. And therefore, this is where the interesting part of the conversation comes in, right? Like that's literally all we're at the moment as far as like whatever you want to call this, a movement, standard, future metaverse layer, whatever. Right now, we're in the wonder phase. That's what I like to call it, right?
Yeah.
The tools that are available now only enable us to wonder about the future.
That's right.
We cannot do anything as far as like build anything of value yet.
Yeah.
On this, proposed metaverse solution.
Yeah. So the next step for this standard is to come up with a structure to mint these parcels.
Right.
So if you don't know anything about what's going on with Bitmap, so it's essentially a standard that people are now adopting, as we outlined earlier, where it says every block on Bitcoin's blockchain is now a district in this metaverse.
Yeah.
And within this district are parcels that people can own.
Yeah.
And these parcels represent transactions that are happening organically across the planet, right? Through Bitcoin.
These squares in this visualizer, at least, that's what they do. That's what they represent, right? But yeah, the beauty of the standard is we're now leveraging data that exists on Bitcoin's blockchain to generatively process like a virtual environment, right?
Yeah.
Without any kind of like arbitrary, input. This is just organically created based on the activities of humans interacting with the blockchain of Bitcoin in the first place, right?
That's right.
So that's the beauty of it, right? That's the elegance of this model. There's never been a standard in the metaverse before to like operate from. Yeah. So that's where the value lies at the moment. It's definitely very like theoretical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But check out this transaction though.
Someone
moved 2,264 Bitcoin.
So that's pretty good, dude. So let's start speculating. Like, say the next stage. Okay, now we can assign ownership to these individual squares, aka parcels. And if you don't know what a parcel is, it's literally like a segment of a virtual world. Yeah, it's like a land plot in the real world, right? You go to your local gas station at the corner of the street. That little 1 acre plot, typically. Yeah. That's like a real world parcel, you can imagine, right? Yeah. You're just buying segments of land. That's it. Yeah, exactly. We're not buying. You're acquiring segments of land.
Yeah, and so the metaverse has a long roadmap. So once you acquire this land and you can acquire the parcels and all that, and you can inscribe the individual pieces, right? And the functionality is all there. Then it's like, well, what do you do? It's like, now I own this land. Like, so what? Right. So then it's going to be the next phase is like deploying what we call the operating system of the metaverse. That operating system is basically a stack of technology, right? You have your networking stack, the foundational piece, right? You have the Unity or Unreal Engine renderer,
Yeah.
Right. And then you have eventually the stuff that runs within that. Could be a game, could be apps, whatever.
Yeah, it's up to you, right? Whoever owns these districts, I'm sure, like the real diehard driven individuals within this ecosystem, that they will paint like a vision outline of like what it is, what type of citizens they want to recruit into their, this space.
Yeah.
Right. Like, we want, I am X influencer, X company, whatever. I have a district. Mm-hmm. I have 2,000 roughly so parcels that I can mint or inscribe.
Yeah.
And I want people who are truly dedicated to my vision. I want to create like the best Pepe-verse that's ever existed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Whatever that means, I don't know. If you're a Pepe believer,
aficionado,
you get to come in and, acquire one of these parcels and participate and contribute to that vision. Whether it's I'm going to erect like the coolest 3D Pepe thing of all time. Yeah. I'm going to create some sort of like Pepe bar where you can come in and drink whatever the hell Pepe's drink. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. The options are infinite, right? So that's the coolness of all this.
Yeah, that's the best part of the metaverse is like it's open to anything.
Any interpretation. Yeah. Just like the internet. Any website has that exact potential. It's a blank canvas, right?
That's right.
You go to GoDaddy, you spin up a new domain, you got this opportunity.
Yeah.
What you end up doing with that like space on the internet is up to you. Yeah. Right? You can start a whole company, a $1 trillion company like a Facebook.
Yeah.
By just running like a web page in your college dorm. Yeah. Right. Who knows?
Yeah, and another part that excites us about, the standard is essentially it follows our ethos not ethos, but our thesis that if the metaverse is supposed to turn into this $1 trillion opportunity, right? Mm-hmm. Like a lot of these projects are predicting. Well, how do you do that, right? And so we have to look back at the existing examples, like the internet. How did that turn into a $1 trillion opportunity?
Yeah,
and it goes through the application layer, right? The functional stuff. So, and then on top of that, like if you look at the internet, there's infinite amount of websites, infinite. Mm-hmm. Right. And so we have the websites that are extremely popular, like Google and YouTube and things like that.
Yeah.
And so ultimately the metaverse should be infinite, right? Just like Bitcoin is. It's going to continuously push out these blocks. Mm-hmm. And blocks will have transactions indefinitely, right? Forever, theoretically.
Right.
And so this is the greatest platform to build a metaverse on top of. Yeah. And the districts that gain the most traction are the districts that have the most value built on top of it. Mm-hmm. That value could be anything anyone imagines. If you want a fashion district, well, there you are, right? Mm-hmm. You want a game, like you have infinite land to build your game on. And so it's open. This is like the new internet, dude. We're staring right at it.
Well, that's what everybody says the metaverse is supposed to be, right? But if you actually, inject yourself into the current landscape of it, we definitely seems very far off because like you're saying, the existing metaverse, like that infrastructure just doesn't support anything nearly as valuable as like the functions of the internet, right?
Yeah.
You go to, like I said, you go to your favorite web pages, just go to your, what is it? Like, what is it, Google Chrome, where like sorts like your top 8 or whatever, the pages you frequent the most.
Yeah.
I guarantee you all of them have like very high functionality.
Yeah.
They always like send you something of value in return for your time investment and input. Mm-hmm. That's how the metaverse has to become too. And right now it's not that. It's largely just you're just walking in there, you're observing things, and nothing of value is being returned to you.
Yeah.
So that's why, like you said, the metaverse has probably one of the longest roadmaps, maybe comparable to like fusion energy or something like that.
That's a good analogy. Yeah,
it's gonna take a lot of effort from a lot of people to push this thing forward, right? Mm-hmm. But at least this is a good ground zero. This is probably the best ground zero we've seen so far. Right?
So let's speculate as to like the long future of this. Now going beyond Bitcoin here, it's like we were speculating when we were talking about this and this particular video is that all these different chains are going to copy this.
Oh, well, it depends on how well this. I mean, at the current rate, it seems like adoption is actually happening in real time. Well, at least as far as like community adoption, right?
Yeah.
The real adoption that we're going to have to see in the future, like the next phase of this, is developer adoption, right? So like nothing of value will be built unless developers come in and decide to contribute, right? But developers won't do that if they don't see like an actual community of users engaged and interested in wanting.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess I'm making the assumption that there is going to be interest. There's going to be a lot of interest in what's happening on Bitcoin and Bitmap and all that.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I bring this up is because we're able to make these predictions because we see history repeat itself or rhyme.
Yeah.
And anything that was developed on Ethereum ended up being developed on Solana and Avalanche and all these different layer ones.
Yeah.
And so
because of the standards.
Now innovation is happening on top of Bitcoin, dude.
Yeah.
It used to only happen exclusively on Ethereum.
Yeah.
And so since the innovation is happening on Bitcoin, it's going to propagate through all the other chains.
Yeah.
And so you're going to see like an ETH map and Sol map and Ava map.
Most likely.
Yeah.
The only differentiator is like if that is to occur, which likely it will, but just like, ERC 721 NFT standard spun up from Ethereum, every other blockchain is capable of replicating the same thing. So why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
To attract value to your blockchain, right? So again, this is a standard built on top of the like innate properties of what blockchains do, right? And the fact that there's so many of them in existence, why wouldn't the rest of them follow the same pathway?
Right.
They could build their own version of it, but the difference is Bitcoin is unique in the fact that it's so damn slow.
Yeah.
It takes 10 minutes for a new block to be created, which historically that's been interpreted as a negative. It's like, dude, what a fail, Satoshi. Why would you do such a thing? But now this introduces a new value to that whole mechanic. It's like, that's a good thing.
It's an advantage.
That's a good thing. Yeah. Even if all the other blockchains adopt some sort of like model like this, now there's plenty of abundance as far as like
districts. So
or virtual environments that you could tap into. It doesn't necessarily have to be on Bitcoin.
Yeah. It's like, for example, think of the blockchains that confirm in 3 seconds. Right. Those are millions and millions of blocks
on their way to billions for sure. Yeah. Which is fine. Like the internet contains billions and billions and billions of websites.
That's true.
It's fine. It has to be that accessible too.
Yeah, right? And there's going to be a market around those. They'll decide which block had the most interesting transaction, and somebody's going to go after that block on Ethereum and Solana and Avalanche and all that.
Pretty much. And then once that comes to fruition, then it's going to be all dependent on, just like the internet, right? The thing that's really going to drive value is the content, like of these individual virtual environments,
Yeah.
And, but in that grander scope of a vision, then the whole Bitcoin Bitmap ecosystem, of course, is going to have the dominant like narrative because it was the first.
There you go.
It's on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's the introduction of a new virtual layer is the slowest. Like it's every 10 minutes as opposed to like almost every second.
Yeah.
These are all positives, right?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
This is, dude, it's fun speculating. And it's fun speculating and then being right.
Well, we don't know yet, but I guess we're on record today.
Yeah.
So if all these things do happen, however long it takes, then you can always come back and,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the way it's going to happen is all 795,000 blocks are going to have to get minted.
Right.
And then all of a sudden the developers on the other chains are like, hey, what's going on over there in this Bitcoin map thing?
Agreed. Of course. Yeah.
And I was like, we could do this. It's like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
And they're going to do it.
And they will do it.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's
what
you want.
Great.
That's what
absolutely.
you want to see.
Yes.
And then we actually have a true metaverse standard,
Hey, dude.
We do.
This is music, dude. This is music.
That's right. So yeah, I guess we're going to keep talking about this, keep following this probably for the rest of our channel, most likely.
Oh, 100%.
As this develops. That doesn't necessarily mean like every day, even though we had back-to-back videos about this. Not every week will we cover this, But we also want to do things like host Twitter calls and talk about this regularly in our Discord channel and all that stuff, because this is what we're mostly interested in, right?
Yeah.
Even though like the whole broader blockchain Web3 ecosystem is also interesting, but we have deep ties to this, so
yeah. I mean, this solves a lot of problems, and I mean, it's important. So shout out again to Fishbrain, these guys, and Bitoshi Blakamoto.
And everybody else who's pushing this, on Twitter.
Yeah.
hashtag Bitmap, hashtag fucking Metaverse on Bitcoin, I guess. I don't know, dude. We as a community, we gotta like really gather and like figure out, because this is what Ordinals is all about, dude. Like, there's nothing more valuable to Bitcoin than we just introduced, not us, but like as a community, we're introducing a whole new virtual layer every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, Bitcoin is responsible for that. Like,
yeah.
That's so much cooler than just like a buy it and just hold it narrative.
Agreed.
You know?
Yeah. And NepOS as well. Bank of NFTs, he's also been contributing a lot early on too. So yeah, there's a lot of people who were there way before us, who've been talking about Bitmap way before us. Yeah. And we just gave it a little nudge. That's all we did. So that's right. Happy to participate. And we are looking for people to join and, you know, just talk about, you know, all the standards that are going to be developing and contribute to like setting all that up. We can't do this by ourselves. Yeah.
That's probably going to be the first like conversations on Twitter about this stuff, is like really like cementing and formalizing this standard so that whenever new entrants come in, they're not like, you know, either intimidated or they just there's a lack of understanding. Like, how do I actually really plug into this and like get things moving? You know, so
we
that's up to us, the community.
Yeah, we want as many people participating in their own image. They want to do their own thing. Let's do it.
Yep.
Right. All right, that's it for us. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comment section below. Follow us on Twitter at The Block Runner, at MetaZone.io, and at Rovi AI, and we will catch you in the next video.
Peace.